Hello and welcome to my new video. Happy Eurovision night, because it's Eurovision as of the time I'm recording this. The only problem is I can't watch it because I have to wait for my parents to get back home, and unfortunately they've just left for 2 hours. Anyway, I will be taking this time to record this. In this video, I will be becoming a godlike dictator, and I will seize control of the entire planet. Anyone who disagrees with me will have the head severed off their shoulders and put on display in my front garden. They can be bird food and actually contribute to the ecosystem that way. Anyways, let's get started. Now, the world today has a lot of problems, and the main one I've already solved, you see. I have gone and I've freed countries that should not be a part of some old, rotten, dirty old empire, washed as hell, I may say. No one likes this shit. No one appreciates this shit. And my next step will be ending all wars, you see. Okay? Now, Russia here has been invading poor old Ukraine since February of 2022, I believe. Which is not a good thing. So what am I going to do about this, you ask? Well, quite simply, what I'm going to do about this is... So the front looks like that, and it's been like that for like ages. Yeah? I'm going to tell them to stop. I'm going to give Ukraine all of this land back. And I'm going to put Putin on a waiting list, and you'll see what that waiting list is for later. Because I have another target. Mr. Netanyahu has been living his life quite happily in Tel Aviv for quite some time now. He's probably in a little bunker in the Iron Dome. So, what am I going to do about Mr. Netanyahu, you see? Well, I'm also going to put him on the same waiting list alongside Trump and, sure enough, who else can I put there? I was going to say Kim, but you know what, he's a chill guy, so, you know what, yeah, sure. Putin, Netanyahu, and Trump, oh, and Nigel Farage. Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, Nigel Farage. What are we going to do with them? Well, you know, in the Atlantic recently there's been a little boat going around. I'm pretty sure it might have stopped now because I haven't heard any news about it in a while. But it's called the MV Honvius, I believe. And the cool little thing about this boat is that it carries a disease known as the hantavirus. Now most people are leaving the boat, which I think most of them have now. And I haven't heard any news about it in ages, so it's probably over. But we have all of these guys in a waiting list, and we're going to airdrop them onto the MV Honvius, and then have it sail to Point Nemo, where I will then nuke it with all of the world's nuclear arsenal, you see. All of it, okay? The entire world's nuclear arsenal on this boat, destroying it, and all of the dictators on board. Which now means no country on Earth has any nuclear bombs, which now means no country on Earth can destroy Earth that badly. Now, that's a lot of things gone. Now, a big overlooming threat of nuclear war is gone! So my next step will be to merge all of these nations into one, you see. So, something like this. Here we go. And I will call this the Earth Federation, you see. Now, all of the countries that used to exist, I'm going to give them full autonomy, you see. Okay? Full autonomy in the Earth Federation, and any other regions that want autonomy will be granted it, okay? Without much fighting, because whoever believes in the fighting, as mentioned earlier, will have the head severed off their shoulders upon display in my garden. So, now that everyone's in agreement, another cool thing we can do is called stopping climate change and saving the galaxy. So what I'm going to do is, to save, you know, these places from melting, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone on Earth blow up every single power plant that isn't clean energy or nuclear, and they're all going to die brutally, which will mean there's no more climate change. But now you're thinking, what about AI? Well, I have a solution for AI, okay? So the robots are not going to take over and rule over my new federation. I will not let that happen. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have all uses of AI banned, except for the use of Wiggle AI, making people dance and do silly edits on TikTok. And generating Triple T videos or images or variants or whatever, so that I can have my Triple T happiness home living as well. Okay, so now that this is solved, how are you going to stop the world from breaking apart? Well, like I said, all of the regions will have autonomy, and now that there's no nukes, maybe they don't feel like war is a big of a threat. So there's going to be one thing that I'm going to do, okay? Not only am I going to save Triple T from being banned, I'm going to make him the centre of the world. He's going to be on the flag of the Earthian Federation, and he's going to be a uniting factor keeping these sustained for now. But, you know, there will always be division as long as people can be separated. So, what I think is Triple T will not be a trustworthy solution for too long. So what I'm going to do is actually something I think is really smart, okay? I'm going to have this massive train line made around the equator, which is nowhere near the equator. It has to be way lower down. It's like over here. Across the equator, I will have this massive train line constructed, and it's going to be a Japanese bullet train, Shinkansen, okay? And how am I going to power this without anything and only clean energy? Well, if it's Japanese technology, can be powered by Japanese technology. So all of the footsteps in Japan are going to power this train line that goes across the equator. And everyone's going to love me for it. So now everyone can travel equally, okay? But this doesn't make sense, you see. How is someone in, like, Norway going to use this train line to get to, like, New Zealand? They're not. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have the train line extend to the centre of each continent. So it's going to be Rome for Europe. It's going to be for North America. I don't know for North America. Let's just say San Francisco. Go on. San Francisco for North America. The Panama Canal for Central America. Okay. And I know it's not a continent, but shut the f up. And Brasilia for South America. For Africa, well, for North Africa it's going to be Cairo. For South Africa it's going to be one of these places. For Oceania, Sydney. For Asia, Beijing. For India, New Delhi. For Russians, because Russians are special, they're going to have one specially connected to Moscow, which is also going to branch off to Dubai, so that all of the people and the slaves that are in Dubai, making all the Dubai buildings as slaves, can be freed and go on to the Shinkansen that is powered by footsteps in Japan. And because of their hard work, the Japanese are going to get one directly, actually no, not from Tokyo. From Hiroshima, they're going to have their own Shinkansen line onto the big equator line. And just like that, I have solved many of the world's major problems. You can all thank me later. Okay? Now, another cool thing I can do, yeah? The footsteps in Japan and all of the bad energy's gone. So the world is going to be a little bit of an electricity crisis. So what am I going to do here, you see? Well, there's a little thing called the Sahara Desert, and it's most of Northern Africa. So what I'm going to do is, it gets so much sunshine in the day that I'm actually, you know, for solar energy we can use a blue colour, because it's sort of blue in it. That's what the solar panel looks like. We're going to have this nice square across the Sahara, and it's going to power the entire world, and not just the Sahara as well. I know there's a desert here. I know there's a desert here, I think, because they have it in the cowboy movies. And Australia is gonna get one. Boom! We have deserts. Oh, and there's one, isn't it? No, it's cold though. It's too cold. Boom! We have all of these deserts on the world map, taking in all of the sun. And also we're gonna have one on all of the land near the equator, because it also takes in. Actually, no, that's gonna go through the Amazon. Not touching the Amazon though, to preserve the wildlife, and probably here too, just here, because I know there's a jungle here. To preserve wildlife, it's only going to be in non-jungle areas, you know. Papua New Guinea, sure. Solar panels everywhere, okay. This is going to power the entire world these. And I'm also going to have wind farms. I don't know what wind farms look like. They're going to be white because wind turbines are white. We're going to have wind farms in the sea because I know over here there's like wind. So in the sea here, boom. And here because I know typhoons. Wind farms, solar, Japanese footsteps. We're powered, okay? Powered, I tell you. Now, there's just a little bit more, you see, because as long, I've said this before in the video, but as long as there's some way to divide someone by, people will divide them that way, okay? So, what my solution is to this problem is that everyone is going to be turned into a chameleon, okay? Because as long as there is a difference in appearance, people are going to not like each other. They're always going to find a way to fight. They're all going to find a group to blame as long as there's someone different to you. Okay? So, what I'm going to do about this is I'm going to turn everyone into a chameleon. And the way the chameleon works is that whatever climate you're in, you turn into the race that was adapted to that climate. So, if you're in Europe, you become white and you get to go to Agatha. If you're in Africa, you become black. And you get to be, what do black people do? You get the N-word pass, okay? Here, you get to be Asian. And you get to have rice and big families. Here, you get to be Native American and you get to have the feathers in your head. Here, you get to be Native Australia. Here, you get to be Native American again. Okay, you can be an Aztec if you're here, and this kid's playing Subnautica 2, which I have, and if you want me to play it, comment on this video. Okay, let's get right back into the video. So now that race is sorted, what about gender and wealth, okay? So what I'm going to have with this is I'm going to merge everyone into a tree, because trees are all the same gender, and I think if we do that with people too, we solve the Howley gap, and we make everyone happy, okay? But talk to me, how did this work? You can't have one gender, because there'd be no population. Well, my viewer, you see, what we're going to do about that is we're going to have everyone reproduce in a way that is like really alien and spooky, okay? We're going to have everyone reproduce through connecting their energy in their brains. So the population will be easily skyrocketed, you see, because their brains, because I motivated Triple T, they're going to think of Triple T, they're going to think of his immaculate shape and size, and they're going to implant that into the other person's brain, which is going to make them happy, which is going to make them send the Triple T pheromones back, and they're going to connect their energy in the middle of the atmosphere and spawn in a baby. And if the baby disagrees with me, I'm cutting the head off its shoulders and putting it in display in my front garden. So now, we have a baby, okay? The population is saved, the climate is saved. Now, what's left? Well, you're forgetting one more way people can divide themselves. How much money they get, okay? Now, I don't think, like, total socialism is a good idea, because people will be mad at that, you see. While I could cut all the heads off and put them in my front garden, I could either do that, or I can find a system that works for everyone, because I'm running out of space in my front garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a system that is basically socialism, but some jobs pay slightly more than others, okay? So it's more like this. Actually, what? No, that's not fair. Lower class is like that, middle class is like that, and upper class is like that. There you go. So this is only for like people who save lives, like doctors and people who, like, the law, who prevent people from hurting people else. And then when they get arrested, I'm gonna put their heads in my front garden, you see. And here's like the normal jobs, the average Joe, And here is the people who did bad in education. So instead, the government of the Earth Federation is going to be providing them with everything. Free housing, you see, because I will have solved the housing problem, because we're making so much money from the clean energy that we're actually going to have infinite homes for everyone. And they can do a tie-in-nos if they don't have enough money for an infinite home, which they're not going to cost anything. But if they don't want to live next to a load of other poor people, they can just build a tie-in-nos. So now we've solved a lot of things, you see, okay? Now people won't be so mad, and people won't be so glad. Which is not as bad, which makes me happy. I'm not mad. And I'm rhyming because I'm so cool. And you suck of cool. Anyways. What now, you see? Well, now that Earth is a utopia, and everyone is happy, and everyone who's not happy has their head in my front garden, is gonna focus on stuff they can do. They've got nothing left to progress on, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna progress on a little thing called space, as you can see by my amazing rocket drawing. And they need the glasses. They're going to progress on space. Okay? They've saved the planet. They've made it a utopia. And now they go into Mars. And they're going to do the exact same on Mars. We're going to terraform it. And it has no wildlife to begin with. So, we've got nothing left to preserve. And we can reach our full potential there, you see. Full potential on Mars. Boom. We've done it. We've colonized a planet. What now? Easy. We colonize another planet. Venus, we don't care. We drag it out with the power of Triple T. We drag it into the Goldilocks zone, away from the sun, and then we fix it. Boom! Easy fix. What's next? Mercury. How are we going to terraform Mercury? It's got no atmosphere. We won't terraform Mercury. We're going to blow it up and send all of its resources to Earth. Or Mars, actually, to Mars, because it's untapped potential. We're going to send it to Mars with the Martian people, who are chameleons too, so they're adapted to be Martian. They're going to turn it all into spaceship. What are they going to do with the Mercury spaceship? They're going to create a colony of humans who live on the spaceship, and they breed with the same Triple T mechanism on the spaceship, and they're going to travel outside of the solar system. And they're going to travel and colonize other solar systems. Boom! What next? They're going to keep on going. They're going to break down tiny rocky planets that can't be colonized. And they're going to turn them into more Mercury spaceships. And they're going to go to other star systems with it. And they're going to beat the f*** out of the suns with it. And, boom! Eternal human life. All thanks to me, the God Dictator of Earth. And the Earth Federation. Which is now all over the screen. It's I'm not gonna say that, actually. But yeah. Boom! Easy problem, easy solution. Glory to Earth. And, glory to me, the God Dictator of everything, okay? We're gonna have infinite life. We're gonna bring as many planets as we can into Goldilocks zones of different star systems. We're going to max out the population as much as possible. We're going to keep on growing and growing, and we're going to make a utopia. And then eventually, when I die, I'm going to do an Alexander the Great, and all of the people surrounding me are going to be like, no, and then they're going to completely fail the empire, and it's going to go badly. Boom! And then there's war. With all of the new God technology, and we're gonna kill each other really badly because I'm no longer there. So now everyone's sad, and they realise that the world would be a much better place if I was still the God Dictator and I was still putting people's heads in my front garden. Except now it's not going to be in my front garden because we're going to make a new planet. Yeah, we're going to build a new planet out of sheer human will and strength. And it's going to be called the Front Garden, and it's going to have all of the universe's traitors and the galaxy's traitors on that little place, yeah? And there's a dog pissing himself outside my door. And on this little place, yeah, we're going to have all of the heads of all of the chameleon people who disagree with me, and they will die and burn in hell on my front garden of the planet. And I've solved world peace, just like that, okay? And now, after like 10 million years, you see, the Earth, it probably doesn't even look like this anymore. It's probably gone like Africa has gone this way, and this has gone that way, and this has gone ew, and this has gone and this has gone but even faster, and Australia okay, I think that's how they're going. I'm not sure. I don't know the Earth that well. Oh, and India's gonna vanish. It's gonna squish itself up against Asia because it's such a good friend. They're such good friends, you know. The Himalayas are gonna get even bigger because he's such a good friend, and they're definitely just friends. And don't question why his massive mountain in his pants is growing so long and hard. I'm blurring that out as well, by the way, because I'm not having that. That is illegal for me to say. Anyways, now that the Earth is different, people are gonna start to forget, and they're gonna be even so drist that they develop new technologies to resurrect me, as you can see by the summoning circle. And I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna reverse the Earth to how it was. And now everyone in the entire universe, whose planet is now probably destroyed, and they forget everything, and only the people who are on Earth before I came, they're gonna realise that the best way to move forward is unity. And while my ways were not really realistic, they can still find a way. They can still fix the Earth, they can still change their ways before it's too late, and they can still nuke the antivirus ship with Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, and Nigel Farage on it. Thank you for watching this. I saved the Earth and destroyed it, and then filled the people with inspiration to do better and make a better Earth. Okay, bye.